Hi there, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Clarice and I'm a child development teacher, board-certified lactation consultant, and early education advocate. And today we'll be going over a practice you're going to hear about all the time in your parenting journey, especially in today's society, and that's the importance of validating a child's feelings. But what I'll also be discussing is how and when this action can backfire and have the opposite effect on your child's emotional well-being. Stay tuned. Let's get on the same page. Why is validating a child's feelings so important? When we validate a child's feelings, it means we accept and confirm their thoughts and feelings. It shows we understand and respect them, and it has numerous benefits to children, including how to manage their feelings in a healthy way, improve self-esteem, and empathy. We validate by actively listening to what they're going through, acknowledging their experience and their emotions instead of dismissing or minimizing it. So instead of saying, it's not a big deal, or you're being too sensitive, we let them know, I can see why it's so upsetting, or it sounds like you're really frustrated. Validating a person's feelings is important and needed for stronger relationships. When we validate, children learn to better understand their feelings and regulate themselves. That being said, I'm going to give you a situation when repeatedly validating a child's feelings can create the opposite effect. Imagine it's morning time and you and your preschooler are getting ready for the day. You're going to work and your child is going to school. You got lunches ready, you're dressed, your child had breakfast. Now all that's left is getting your child dressed. Your child wants to get dressed on their own, and that's fine. But you notice when you leave her alone to do it herself, she ends up playing in her room. You've now got 15 minutes before you both need to head out the door. So you tell her you're going to help her. She gets upset and starts to cry. She doesn't want you to help her. You feel for her. You understand. And you validate her feelings, of course. And you expect that this will calm her down and she'll finally get dressed. But it doesn't work. She's upset even more so, and even though she insists to get dressed on her own, she doesn't. Now you're stuck. You feel torn during this moment. You want to listen to her and show you care about her feelings, but you also have somewhere to be, and she's not cooperating. So you wonder to yourself, do I wait it out until she's ready? Am I traumatizing her if she's screaming while I dress her? Should I just call work and tell them I'll be late? Does this sound familiar? Validating feelings is important and it's needed, yes. But there are moments when you need to do more than validate feelings to support your child. And I'll go over 3 of those moments right now. Moment number 1 is transitional times. The example I mentioned is a transitional time when a child must go from one activity to the next. It's difficult for children to do this. Their brains are not mature yet and they process information slower than adults. So sometimes children are going to get stuck in that activity. They don't have the same foresight or experience as you. They don't have a sense of time, so they need help to move along, even if they have a difficult time. We validate their feelings, but it doesn't require us to rely on it to show that we care. And this is how it can go. You can say, it's really tough getting dressed in the morning when you really want to play. I understand. I'm going to help you put on your shirt and your pants now. You do what you say, even if they continue to cry. You stay true to it, and you allow them to feel what they feel. Being that parent who remains steadfast and a person they can rely on to be consistent is how we show our care for them. Moment number 2, your child is overwhelmed. Children can become overwhelmed in many situations. Remember, their brains and their systems are not as mature as adults. So think of a kids' party with lots of kids and adults in an indoor play space. It's a jumble of experiences, sensations, noises, and for many children, this can be more than they can handle, and they get overstimulated and overwhelmed by it. After the event, if you have a toddler or a preschooler, they are most likely tired and have experienced sensory overload. So all of these combined can trigger a tantrum, which can then turn into a complete meltdown. And at this time, a child's stress levels are up and they don't hear or respond to much of what you're saying, including validation. So a child might even get more angry when you repeatedly acknowledge their feelings, and they'll argue with you. They'll say something like, "I'm not angry," or "I'm not tired, leave me alone." This is when it's best to remain a quiet, calm presence and take care of what their body needs, which in this case may be a nap. And this may sound like, "I'm going to help you change your clothes. You look like you're having a difficult time." Then it's bedtime. Then stay quiet and calm in your movements and your facial expressions as you follow through on that routine. Moment number 3, it's affecting your child's well-being or health. Children are very observant, and they recognize when what they say or do can postpone routines that they don't want to do, such as bath time or bedtime. Children are not trying to manipulate you. They simply recognize when strategies work. So for example, it's bedtime and you've read the 2 books that they want to read. You say goodnight, and before you're about to leave, your child asks for another book or a glass of water, or they want you to see how high they jump, or they have to go pee. If it postpones bedtime, then it's a strategy they will continue to use. Another strategy they might want to try is talking about their feelings. They want to have a long discussion about how sad they felt when they were at school, for example. This is when continuing to validate their feelings and not holding your boundary affects your child. Because again, if they succeed in postponing bedtime, they will continue to use that strategy night after night. And because of it, they aren't sleeping on time and they feel groggy the following day. We show we care when we hold our boundaries. It's for their own well-being. And you can say something like, "It sounds like there were moments at school that made you really sad today. I want to hear all about it, but it won't be tonight because it's bedtime. Let's talk about it over breakfast tomorrow. I love you very, very much. Sweet dreams. Good night." When you validate their feelings, they learn not to suppress them and they stay true to themselves. And when you follow through on your limits, doing what is best for them without waiting for their buy-in, your child builds trust in you. They feel safe, and eventually they learn to govern their actions. I hope this was helpful for you. As always, if you have any topics you would like me to cover in future videos, feel free to send me an email. Please support the channel by subscribing, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye. And I was thinking too much. Sensory overload. Everlord.